Hey guys, how's it going? Dudey here. I am back with another video. Today is quite a sad and tragic case of a YouTuber being murdered by what he thought was his friend, but even worse than that, he actually shared the screen with him in his videos. We're going to take a look at the tragic case of Marc Williams. I received an email the other night from someone that would rather remain anonymous, so I'll respect that. There was a case in my area. I knew both of these guys, and I think that you should cover this case. I would love to know your thoughts. So I looked into it, and I felt obliged, especially as Marc was what I would consider an up-and-coming YouTuber. He clearly had a passion for parkour and exploration, something that I do myself, not parkour, but the exploration side of things. His channel is actually still up to this day. It is called Displace, and I will link it down below in the description. The person that emailed speaks very highly of Marc, said that he was a lovely character and just wanted to make people laugh. Apparently Lewis, the boy that killed Marc, was quite quiet, a very closed off social circle unlike Marc, and apparently it was quite odd that those two would be friends considering how different they were as characters. Marc's content tended to centre around where he lived, which was Uckbridge, and Lewis discovered him because Marc posted up a parkour video on YouTube, and this was obviously a mutual interest perhaps of Lewis's, and they got talking through Marc's content. Now from time to time Marc would actually be joined by Lewis.
Hi guys, I am with Lewis, just having a little drink.
And these videos are still on his channel to this day, and we're actually going to take a little look into some of those, including a live stream that Marc did where he speaks of Lewis very highly. You could see that he trusted Lewis, he considered him a friend, and he looked up to him and his ideas for content on YouTube. Now obviously, knowing what we know, that Lewis would go on to stab Marc 107 times, it is deeply saddening to see Marc's trust so misplaced in someone that didn't deserve a morsel of it. Looking through Marc's content, there are a few pieces to note when it came to the relationship between Marc and Lewis. The first comes from a video where he tried to sneak into a building with his brother, and basically he got caught by security, and at the end of the video he kind of gives a life update, and he clearly saw Lewis as someone who had his life together, something that Marc at the time wanted to do himself.
It was a stretch just for me and my brother to get down to Eastbourne. Lewis was supposed to be coming with us, but that messed up. He's got stuff to do of his own. No hate on him. He's busy, he's got work. He's got a lot to do, and quite frankly, it seems he's the only one bothering to do the stuff he's got to do, and it's just me running away from my responsibilities.
In a live stream where he is communicating back and forth with Lewis via a comment section, Marc even says the now haunting words that Lewis was an awesome guy to have around.
Yeah, I know you're Lewis. Yeah, everyone, morale unknown. This is Lewis, the guy who done a couple of videos with me, the water treatment facility and the college video. He was the one who shouted "fuck the police" at the top of his lungs, and you know, awesome guy to have around.
Interestingly, around 22 minutes into the live stream, Lewis talks about starting his own channel and how he wants his first video to have a fight with security, almost giving a flicker of his violent tendencies. Around a minute later, Marc shows the kind person he is, offering to promote Lewis's channel and even giving him some help and guidance as to not clickbait, because if you do that, then it'll turn people off very quickly, especially with a new channel.
I'll promote your channel once you've got it up and going. It's all about first impressions. If you start your channel with clickbait, it's not going to go anywhere at all.
Just showing how caring and helpful Marc was as a person. And at 34 minutes, you can clearly see that Marc looks up to Lewis.
Lewis seems to have bigger balls than I do. I was saying, oh, let's give up, let's go. And he was like, no, let's go back, let's do this shit. And that is the reason why the video was so much longer and so much better. Because otherwise it would have just been fucking boring. The security would have sent us out the gate and we would have just buggered off. But because of him, we actually went back and the police turned up. We actually got somewhere, thanks to Lewis.
As I said, Lewis would then go on to stab Marc 107 times in a frenzied attack. On the evening of the 29th of May 2021, Lewis messaged Marc to get him to come out to a wooded area and have some drinks. Marc, seeing Lewis as a friend, of course, obliged and met him and had some drinks. Now, apparently, Marc wasn't the biggest drinker, but he did get drunk, which some think Lewis may have forced him to do so. Around 11:30 that night, Marc rang his auntie to reassure her that he was on his way home. She noted that he was very drunk on the phone, but she could hear in the background Lewis reassuring her that he was going to get Marc home safe. Marc never returned home, and his family began to panic naturally and called the police and reported Marc as a missing person. Interestingly, Lewis was also missing, so police began an investigation, went to Lewis's home, searched his belongings, and tragically found bloodied clothes hidden in the back of Lewis's wardrobe. Forensics quickly identified that the blood was a match for Marc. Lewis was eventually tracked down to his friend's house, where he was quickly arrested. Lewis's friend told police that Lewis had confessed to killing Marc and, even worse, filmed the whole ordeal. Now, to put it into context, this hour-long footage was too disturbing to be shown in court. Apparently, Lewis found it hilarious as he was showing his friend the murder footage. So what happened that night? As we know, Marc went to meet Lewis and had some drinks. He thought he was going to have a good time. He calls his auntie, says that he is now going to go home. Shortly after this phone call, Lewis stabbed Marc in the back with his mother's kitchen knife. Marc, of course, panics and begs Lewis to call an ambulance. Instead, Lewis stabs him a further 107 times, strips Marc half naked, and gouges Marc's eyes out before dumping his body in a stream. From here, he goes home and gets changed. Later the following day, goes and sees Conjuring 3, The Devil Made Me Do It, at the cinema. Now, of course, the irony there is not lost on me, and there are some similar scenes in that movie and themes of that movie to what Lewis did to Marc that day. After the cinema, he went to his friend's house where he showed him the footage, and then from there he was picked up by police and arrested. Lewis apparently told his friend, "I took a knife out with me and it just felt right to do it. He was begging for help and I just wanted to shut him up. He said I felt good about it and he deserved to die." Detective Chief Inspector Emma Vickers of Sussex Police said, "This was a horrendous and unprovoked attack on a young man who thought he was simply out enjoying an evening with a friend. Lewis Ashdown took advantage of Marc's trust and friendship and killed him in a sustained and violent assault." Marc's family said, "There are no words to describe Lewis Ashdown. He truly is a despicable, cowardly liar who murdered our generous and loving son Marc in the most terrible way for his own gratification. While Marc was not perfect, he was not malicious and did not deserve to be murdered or have anyone call Lewis Ashdown his friend." Lewis Ashdown received 27 years to life. He will not be released for at least 27 years. So there we go, guys. A very tragic case today. It was quite a strange one. Looking through the content and stuff that Marc made, especially like the channel updates and things like that, I saw some parallels from myself back in the day, in the early years of me doing YouTube, and the self-doubt and all of that sort of stuff. And yeah, I don't know, it just this one felt a bit different, and I don't know if this is silly, but I would like to ask you if you would click the link for Displace down below and subscribe to Marc's channel, because I can't help but feel, perhaps, and I might be wrong, that if he got to say 500 subs, it would have meant something to him. And yeah, so I just think maybe it would be a nice thing to do if we as a community can try and get Marc to a milestone like that. So yeah, he's on I think last time I looked, 201 subs. So if we could get him 299, that would be incredible. The link is down below. That's it from me today, guys. And I will speak with you very soon. Be back with more paranormal, true crime, ghostly exploration. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you soon. Sweet one. Geese.
Okay, I'll wrap it up now then, guys. Yep, I'll see you.